The former president and the MAGA extremists are cut from a different cloth. They treat these folks, and they think they're a threat. They think that somehow we're going to go back.
But there wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen. And how do you...
Small band of MAGA extremists.
We believe the borders should remain open. That's the official position of this city, but we have made it clear there should be a decompression strategy that we could properly deal with the volumes that's coming into our city, and no cities should have to carry the burden of the national government.
What we said is we want to depressurize, de-escalate, and ultimately integrate the Middle East region. The war in Yemen is in its 19-month of truce. For now, the Iranian attacks against U.S. forces have stopped. Our presence in Iraq is stable. I emphasize for now because all of that can change. And the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades.
The $6 billion that the Qataris are holding that was unfrozen in order to get 3 hostages back, John, that, you said, well, there are strings attached to that. Is that money now going to be refrozen?
I don't want to get any policy decisions going forward here, Martha. As I said last time you and I talked about this, that money can be refrozen at any time.
Doesn't it seem like a good time to do that?
We won't hesitate to make that decision if we feel we need to, but I'm not going to get ahead of a policy decision that hasn't been made yet.
You insist the Iranian regime won't touch the $6 billion of Iranian funds being unfrozen. But isn't it true that this frees Tehran up to spend more on other nefarious goals like supporting terrorism and boosting its nuclear program?
Well, to the degree that they continue destabilizing activities, and I can't predict what they'll do going forward here, but we already have pressure in place on Iran, both through sanctions and through our military presence in the Gulf region. We won't hesitate to take additional actions as we see further destabilizing activity by Iran.
Critics say it frees up other funds for Iran to finance terrorism. The exiled son of Iran's last Shah calling history the best guide.
We saw what happened to the money that was released to the Iranian regime under the Obama administration. It went to further finance the regime's proxies in Syria and Lebanon.
But what is your expectation of its use? We're told that it's for humanitarian purposes, food and medicine. Do you believe you have the right to use that money in any way that you see fit?
This money belongs to the Islamic Republic of Iran, and naturally we will decide, the Islamic Republic of Iran will decide to spend it wherever we need it.
So if I hear you clearly, that it will be used for more than humanitarian purposes in your view?
Humanitarian means whatever the Iranian people needs. So this money will be budgeted for those needs. And the needs of the Iranian people will be decided and determined by the Iranian government.
The former president, the MAGA extremists, are cut from a different cloth. They treat these folks, and they think they're a threat.